Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 6th of September. So, what for today then? Let's firstly look at the news events. Bit of a mixed day, I would suggest, in news yesterday. We had a conflict of US speakers, one becoming quite dovish, the other one staying relatively hawkish, and it doesn't make for easy trading when it's doing what it's doing. Today, I'm just clicking on a couple of things here. There are a number of speakers kicking out. We got quite a few still coming out now. Yesterday there was a list of speakers, yet we managed to see a load of speakers that weren't programmed to speak as well. So mixed all day. Let's just look at the key numbers first. So we've had the just reboot this. We've had the Australian GDP come in line with expectation at 0.4, so that everything's just in line there with the Aussie dollar. It has seen it a little bit more positive for sure. Now, today, this afternoon, we've got the monetary policy report hearings. This could, starting at 2:15, this can create some volatility as a number of speakers that talk throughout this, and we could see some volatility with the pound later, particularly in its current standing in terms of expectations for further increases, etc., in interest rates. Then we got at 3 o'clock the Bank of Canada rate statement. Also, I should say that monetary policy report goes on for quite some, or the hearings go on for some time. Hi, Paul. We've got the Bank of Canada there at 3 o'clock. We've got meeting, so expectations are that it will be left at 5%. The central bank there in Canada is particularly straightforward in real terms, and they say it as they see it. They have in the past, so it'll be interesting to see if anything differs there, but one would expect just a flat figure. And we got the US ISM data coming out exactly the same time, so we services data. Now again, this can be a bit of a mover, so we around about 3 o'clock with the dollar and the CAD and their pairings could get a bit of movement. Right, so beware. That's it for today. In terms of, let's just look at the speakers now. There's quite a number of speakers. We've got ECB speaker at 1 o'clock there. 1:30 we've got a Fed speaker. So you can see what's happening here. Quite a few speakers running through. This always happens quite a bit of time before the next Fed meeting. We see all the Fed speakers wheeled out one at a time. What else we got? That's pretty much it through to 8 o'clock there, and then we got a Fed speaker, and then we got a New Zealand speaker at 8:30. So just got to tread a bit carefully. We'll see what happens. I think the best of the opportunities might come earlier on. Let's get on and look at the markets themselves here then. And we have then euro dollar. Euro dollar to me is still got the potential for further downside. We've had this sort of break of trend. We've had lower highs put in. That was confirmed properly yesterday. It's moved quite a long way off there, finding a bit of support into its monthly S1 here. But I'm looking at this price action. It's missed its monthly pivot at the moment. So another break below the lows of yesterday, in particularly, I think could be targeting towards, if you're looking at it on a swing basis, down to its monthly S2. Now there are points in before that. There's this quarterly pivot that comes to those prior lows there. So we've got to be a bit careful. But there's potential for that to push on through there. Looking at it on the shorter time frame, you can see the wave formation and come down to the hourlies here, and you can see what I'm looking at in the short term. We've seen these lovely waves sort of occurring, and we're sort of sitting there. Now at some stage these waves stop, of course, and you get divergence coming in, and it switches round. I would look at that more if we run into those key support areas I pointed out. But for now, looking good on the short side. Break of this trend line is probably one of the opportunities. It's not got the biggest of targets, and well, actually the pound's got a worse target, but it's still setting up in the same way. It's given us the lower highs yesterday. It ran into its monthly S1. It has hit the pivot. It might hold it a little bit better. We have got the speakers at the hearing this afternoon, so beware. It's broken its neckline of this price action across here, and it's, well, got scope to break the this trend line here. This hasn't got such a great target. The S1 gets in the way, and the target as I was looking at was slightly bigger than that, which is fine. However, yeah, might just struggle. It's in terms of the risk reward on it, it doesn't look so good. So the euro looks the better of the two. I'm going to look through all the majors. There's not a lot to say on some of these. I haven't got trades on the setting up for these. The dollar yen here making new near-term highs. It's I was just looking at the range. Actually, I'm just going to do a quick measure here where we sat in terms of this channel. So it was about 175 pips, and we've done pretty much that to the upside. I know it came back within the channel, didn't break the bottom of the channel though, but or the prior lows, did it? Oh, it did just, so it would have stopped. But anyway, it's thereabouts in terms of the target it would have gone to, but not really. There's a scope for a break back above the daily pivot here. Just don't overly like it with the double top it made. It triggered the sort of the double top move. Maybe we've got a bit more downside. Aussie US dollar. We'll come on to that in the bigger time frames. You can see here the big double bottom that was sitting across. It ran into yesterday. Finally found a bit of support there on the later candles there, but has since then put this double bottom in, another double bottom on the shorter scheme. It's broken the high between the bottoms, which has would have triggered the move there. Now it's got scope for a bit more bounce, but I'm just sort of looking at what's happening with the euro, where the strength of the dollar more so. At this moment, it looks like it could be pushing down and maybe even come and retest these lows. I would be looking at the order book if there's a bundle of sell orders sitting below these levels. Perhaps we've got an opportunity for a continuation trade to the downside at some point, but not yet. Dollar yen, well, sorry, dollar CAD even. Dollar CAD, I came out of my long position. I did a trailing. I trailed the stop up. I got a bit more aggressive on it, as I could see yesterday. It looked like it was stalling, and it did, and that was it. It sort of rolled back pretty much all the way to not far from where I opened it, I think. So even at break even, I'd have been stopped there. You see, actually, it was marginally better than break even, but it's got into this horrible pattern now. I don't like these pennant sort of price action where you go top bottom here. They're quite unreliable, only about 50-50 chance of them working, so probably best avoided this one today. So that's the majors there. I'll look at the dollar Swissy for those that trade that as well. Continuing to push up a little bit there. I'm not seeing an immediate trade. I'd like to see it bounce off its daily pivot if I was looking for the long side, but it's slow. It has the possibility of further upside here. Stronger dollar. Okay, my go-to regulars, euro yen. It's holding in there. It's starting to get into a bit of a range here now, between the highs there, a bit of extended range, but there's a range kicking in there. It's about halfway up, so it's neither up nor down at the moment. So in terms of trading this. We'll see if anything comes off on the shorter time frames, but not looking too pretty at the moment. In fact, not too pretty at all. So we'll see what develops, but as I said, not looking great. Okay, what the only other pair I can find that's got some scope there then is the Euro CAD. Now, I'd steered clear of it yesterday because of its sort of messy appearance. It's just, yep, it's gone to Euro CAD because it's messy appearance. So, but one of the traders that is one of our members. He did take the short, which was quite a nice short on the shorter time frames. And I'm sort of looking at it this morning. Now, this might never set up, never trigger, I should say. It's the setup's there. Got this nice little bear flag kicking in here. It's broken the lows there. It might never come to anything. It's broken the lows of the what I was originally looking at. It's got this flag sort of sitting there now. Sorry, the lows of what I was originally. There we go. Broken those lows, broken out somewhat. So it has a bit of a possibility. Don't like the bigger daily pattern here particularly, but at some stage it's got to go. The only thing it's a wedgy sort of pennant. It's not the most reliable. So I'm trading it off its lower time frames here, or looking to trade it. A break of these lows of this trend line, this flag line, it will get me into the trade, but if it doesn't, it doesn't, and I won't. Simple. That's it really on the currency pairs. Cross pairs, there's a lot of mess there. If you can see something better, let me know. Okay, that's pretty much it there. Let's just have a look elsewhere then. Looking at the it's going to be very quick now because we're just running into 8 o'clock. Look at gold first. Let's come back to dailies. Well, gold yesterday, a bit disappointing. It's a very strong dollar. It's taking it over again there. It wasn't particularly bad there. It's actually run through. It just continued down a little bit there. It's actually popped back up through the Asian session here, but we'll see. It's got an untouched pivot, but don't really like it. It's gone a bit too bearish again for now. It really, as I said the other day, it comes more bullish on the break of the highs here. It's when it's given us a higher low, but for now it's a bit iffy. Crude yesterday had solid old continuation there. Can't see where it went to because the thing's in the way. There we go, 88, just over $88. Now seeing some people calling for higher levels. In fact, I'm just going to switch this across to this. So this is Brent I'm looking at here. Yeah, I'm seeing calls for $92, $93 on Brent. So that's not that far away. The Western Texas, as I said yesterday, I'm struggling to. I want this to retrace to get into the long side. So it's just not got the value in the long side as I can see it. So yep. Struggling there. Equity markets, CSI 300. Well, it is down on the day there, but bit of a reversal. But most of these equity markets, Nikkei an exception to them, are down at the moment. This morning, you can see here quite a solid move for the Nikkei, still pushing ahead, outperforming the Nifty 50 this morning so far. It's got still some time there, but not really. I mean, it's broken its trend line. Maybe it has got more upside, and I should give it more credit. So it's got scope for the upside. Aussie 200. To me, this is starting to look like an opportunity to sell towards the bottom, but we do have a range and it's halfway. I'm better off at selling towards the top of the range or buying towards the bottom of the range within a range market. So trading somewhere halfway can be a bit unreliable. We got a bit halfway back here and then it just flopped through. There's plenty of examples where it sort of gets halfway. Okay, this one did come down back to the bottoms, but maybe a market best avoided. Moving across, skipping across the S&Ps, the minis here, dropping off for now. The state of the economy may see this drop on this market and this action drop off even further at some stage. It's a bit of a mixed old situation here in the current zone. We're just coming down towards its weekly pivot. Perhaps if you can find some support there, it could continue in this what was a decent drive up last week, but we're struggling at the moment. Dow Jones, nothing too different here. In fact, it's looking, if anything, slightly weaker with the lower highs in on this move here, looking quite a bit softer. The Nasdaq, more choppy, lower highs kicking through, not looking the best. So, and finally the DAX, I say almost finally the DAX still continuing its solid selling really. Retracements might give opportunities, but it's yesterday it managed to find a bit of support there in the morning, only to have given it all back by now. So it's struggling. Certainly a game or two halves for these markets, and it could be well worth watching for the afternoons to get the continuation direction. We'll see what happens if this bounces back up today. The FTSE into the pivot, as I say, could be a sell come afternoon. Right, that's it for me today. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.